Hello everybody, it's me, your good friend Sparky, and welcome back to Pikmin on Gamecube. Specifically, Pikmin on Gamecube's Challenge Mode. We are going to be moving on to the second Challenge Mode map to grow as many Pikmin as we possibly can in the Forest of Hope, which is typically, I'd say, of the different maps, probably my best map for Challenge Mode. The other ones I'm alright at. I'm okay at the impact site. I do alright there sometimes. Forest Navel I do okay at, and I'm not too great at growing Pikmin at the Distant Spring or the Final Trial, honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest and straightforward with you guys. I don't want to lie to you. But the Forest of Hope. I typically like the Forest of Hope. Again, GameCube version. Don't have as much practice with this version, so my high scores aren't going to be as great, I don't think. But I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try and get as best of a score as I possibly can. So here we go to the old Forest of Hope, which is going to be kind of a more standard map. At the impact site, we really only had one enemy and just a bunch of pellets to get. Forest of Hope, on the other hand, is going to be a little more like it is regularly. Not exactly, but there are going to be a lot of enemies around for us to fight, and there's going to be a lot of other things to grab and collect. And it's also going to be much bigger, so we need to sort of manage our time and try and strategize where we gotta go a little more. Impact Site is pretty easy to just very quickly navigate. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of details you really need to remember. Forest of Hope, on the other hand, is when the maps definitely start getting a little bigger and more complex, so there's more ground to cover and more things to find. Technically, I don't even go to every area on the map for this particular run. Basically, you gotta kinda, on this map and on Forest Navel in the Distant Spring, you gotta kinda pick your battles. You gotta try and figure out what is the most, cost-effective locations to go to, where you can find the enemies and the pellets that will get you the most Pikmin. And, very specifically, you want to keep an eye out for where pearly clams are. Clamps, excuse me. I keep remembering I'm saying that wrong. I keep forgetting to say it right. You gotta look for where the pearly clamps are, because they have their pearls, and they, in turn, give you 50 Pikmin for each one you collect. And that's a lot of Pikmin. That's 100 Pikmin. Typically you can find on any map that has them, because usually there are 2 scattered about. And I think it's really only the 3 main areas you can find them at. I don't think there definitely aren't any clamps on the impact site, weirdly enough, because that's where they were during the regular game, I'm just realizing. And I don't think there are any around at the Final Trial, either. It's these 3 main maps that have, I think, 2 pearly clamps each, and you want to try and get them as soon as you possibly can. The only map that I typically don't usually end up getting the clamps on is the Distant Spring, because that map is big. And, I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. It's not super important to figure it out right now. Oh boy. And I mean, the GameCube version, its flaws, though minor, really start to show up in Challenge Mode, I think. Just the ability to quick swap your Pikmin makes things so much easier in the Wii version. Just so much easier. Like, no fooling, not kidding. Every time, because when you're collecting pellets and stuff, you want to make sure the right color Pikmin are picking them up. You want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck, and you want the most Pikmin that you can possibly get. And, it's can be difficult to do that on the GameCube version, honestly. Because you don't have the ability to, like, really quickly cycle through your Pikmin. You can't really, very effectively target, like, say, the little 1 pellets with the right Pikmin. You have to sort of, move through your group and kinda try and grab the right sort of Pikmin. Or you have to dismiss them into groups and then pick the right color that you need. And it's just a little annoying, honestly. It gets to me that I can't quick swap Pikmin in this game. Because I fully admit, I said it already, but I just completely forgot. I completely forgot that quick swapping was not in GameCube Pikmin 1. I'm being 100% truthful when I say that. It's just something that completely escaped my mind because I was so used to just being able to do that. And, also trying to grab certain, like, enemies, not enemies, but, pellets, and just trying to get to certain locations without that extra throwing distance. Also, a bit of a hindrance, honestly. Because if this were the Wii version, I could have just thrown my blue Pikmin right to that tin pellet. Also, there are Pikmin following me and drowning right now because, of course there are, even though I dismissed them, and there should be no reason for them to follow me to the water and drown. They just started following me anyway. If I were in the Wii version, I would have just been able to throw my Pikmin to that blue 10 pellet really easily, no problem whatsoever, and just grab the 10 pellet and be done with it. But because I don't have the reach that's in the Wii version, I had to wander around and bring my group of Pikmin to the pellet instead. It's just the little things that you really kind of realize when you're playing these two versions of the game back to back, and yeah, it really makes me appreciate just, like, how far the Wii version came in comparison to the GameCube version of the game. Like, the improvements they made and, like, what an impact they made on the series as a whole. Because it's those sort of mechanics that ended up carrying forward to the Wii version of Pikmin 2, and the, both versions of Pikmin 3. Both versions of Pikmin 3 are absolutely fantastic. And they've just got great controls and great game feel, and I like them a lot. I like them a lot. I like Pikmin. If you couldn't tell, I like Pikmin. I can't underestimate how much I love Pikmin. It is just such a feel-good series for me about trying to survive on a hostile planet and everything on it just trying to eat you. It's a weird thing to, like, be feel-good, but it is feel-good for me. If I'm ever in a bad mood, if I'm ever having a bad day, sometimes I just pop on some Pikmin. Do a challenge mode run, or start up a new story mode playthrough, something like that. And gosh dang it, I really want to play Pikmin 2. And just immediately go on to that after doing all of the regular Pikmin things. But I know that I don't want to get too focused on one thing. I like to have variety on my channel, so Pikmin 2 is probably going to wait for a while. But at the same time, man, I don't know when Pikmin 4 is going to happen. We don't have a release date yet. I want to try to get in all 3 Pikmin games before Pikmin 4 comes out. It's so hard. It's so difficult. Oh boy. But yeah, man. Pikmin. So great. So great. It's only just gotten better over time, too. It really has. I freaking just... Man, I love it. I love it so much. It's like... and I'm so glad that more and more people are sort of learning to appreciate this series, too. Like, I'm so glad that Pikmin's no longer... Pikmin's still, like, obviously pretty obscure as far as Nintendo series are considered, but it's not nearly as obscure as I think it once was. With Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch, there's, like, a big enough user base for that system that Pikmin is gonna get some attention. And it makes me happy. It really does. It makes me smile thinking about all the little youngins being able to experience Pikmin for the first time. It's great. It's fantabulous. And they can play Pikmin and be completely traumatized when their entire squad gets destroyed by a bomb rock or eaten by a giant monster, and that's the kind of scars that don't go away. Anyway, you never forget Pikmin massacres, really. It's like, if something completely traumatic happens, it sticks with you. Not so much for me, though, because I've become numb to the point that I will purposely sacrifice my Pikmin if it means saving some time on a day. But, yeah. Eventually you'll get to that point. Eventually you stop caring quite as much. Wow, okay, that got weird. I'm sorry. Oh boy. Yeah, it's definitely a weird series of weird feelings, and like, it's hard to describe because it is very charming, and like, you like the Pikmin and they're very cute, and you wanna see them happy and everyone's having a good time, and you wanna have that accomplishment of collecting treasure and ship parts, and I mean, it depends on which version of the game you're playing. In Pikmin 1, it's ship parts, in Pikmin 2, it's treasure, and in Pikmin 3, it's fruit. It's all about fruit. But, yeah, man, Pikmin's such a weird series in that respect, where it's both heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. Like, you have these moments where you're just kind of wandering around with your Pikmin and you're just having a good time and collecting treasure and things like that, and it's like all just the happiness and sunshine. And then you have those times where you're just trying to do something, and you look off in the distance, and there's a Bulborb chowing down an entire group of Pikmin that you didn't see before, or he woke up for some reason, and he just went to town, and he's having a buffet, and you're like, oh my god. And then you start to panic, and you run over, and you just start to question life. And they have to come to the decision, do I let this tragedy slide, or do I restart the day and negate that from ever happening? Because you do have that option. I mean, in the Wii versions and stuff you do. Not so much in the GameCube version, because they don't have the ability to sort of rewind days. But you can just still very easily back out of a day you're currently playing, and easily take away, like, a bad time, and sort of restart things. Make the day go better, and not have your Pikmin get devoured or flattened or exploded or something like that. You know what a part of it is, too? Like, how you sort of eventually become a little numb to the Pikmin suffering? It's the multiplayer mode. The multiplayer battle modes in Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3. I spent a lot of time playing those multiplayer modes with my sister, and you're competing, and it sort of becomes like you're supposed to try and hurt your opponent's Pikmin, right? Since it's a competition, you want to try and make sure you come out on top, and it gives you plenty of tools to cause havoc and chaos and take out your opponent's Pikmin. And it's just, like, gives you a weird feeling of, what is it? Sadism? Is it sadism? I don't know. I'm not sure. This commentary is going in a lot of weird directions, and I'm sorry about that. But it's just part of the Pikmin experience. Like, in multiplayer, like, bingo battle and stuff, it's just really all about, like, winning and causing as much chaos as possible for your opponent. And sometimes causing that chaos is hucking a bomb rock directly in the middle of a squad of Pikmin that they're trying to manage. You know, just causing a little panic, causing a little insanity. And, yeah, it's all good fun. It's all good fun, just blowing things up and just going crazy. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun causing mass chaos and destruction. I'll challenge day 2 is kind of winding down here. And I don't remember, do I get the second Pearly Clam on the GameCube map? I don't think I end up doing it, because I don't think I remembered where it was at first. The second Pearly Clam on this map is up on the cliff where the Snagret was. The whole Snagret area up there. I typically don't go into that area when I'm playing, because Snagrets are just a bad time. You just have very little control over the fights there, and they can eat a lot of Pikmin very quickly. And it's just, yeah, it's not good. It's definitely not good. Snagrets are one of, like, the worst enemies in this game to fight. They're just, there's no, like, quick and clear way to take care of them. And also this part, where this guy, like, didn't want to go down, and he wakes up, and he causes me to panic, and he starts eating my Pikmin, and it's just no good. And at this point, the day is almost over, so you just want to try and get as many things back to camp as possible. It's, not... doesn't go great, usually, if things are too far away, though. Anything that does technically make it back into the onion, though, does, count, though. Even if, like, it's, like, the last second, as long as something hits the onion, it does go, count towards your score, so there is that. You want to make use of every second possible. And the good thing about Challenge Mode 2 is that you don't need to worry about leaving Pikmin behind. So, if you've got Pikmin scattered around and outside of camp, it doesn't end up taking away from your score at the end of the day. See, last couple seconds, you managed to get one big Bulborb back. And, like this little guy here, hit the onion at the 0, and it still counts. It'll still count towards our final score. And yeah, you don't have to worry about leaving Pikmin behind at sundown. So, it's just go nuts, grow as many Pikmin as possible. Man, yeah. Commentary went to some weird places this time around. But anyway, we definitely do get a new high score here. A grand total of 365. Absolutely smashing my previous record. Take that, like 12-year-old me who played Pikmin 1 on Gamecube a really long time ago. And technically, yeah, I could have done even better because I forgot about the second Pearly Clamp. We'll see how that goes on the Wii version, though. Until then, this is your good friend Sparky signing off, though, and I will catch you later.